air clutchy.
I don't know. I'll probably use a double barrel like everybody else.
You're gonna nerf that too. You're gonna have to learn how to play the game.
Hey, you got fire ammo. They flag it again?
Yep.
Somebody's coming up behind you. There's 2 hot booster highs sitting up there. Guys coming up behind you.
Oh, you're done.
Oh, please.
Uh-oh, we got some victims right here. We got some victims.
I just threw it. I just threw it.
We got some victims. Oh, it's done.
Oh, they're all dead!
Picking up.
Hey, somebody picking up behind you.
Bro, this is it. This is it.
Case killed that one.
Hey, they got revived behind you.
Oh, snap, bro. This is crazy. Come on. Another one. Is there another one?
This kid will have a worse build.
The woods one.
Bro, it's attaching to their defender drone. So that's acting as the other target. Yo, fall back. Get these NPCs, bro. Oh yeah, come on up. Burn radius here.
Hey, grenade launcher! Grenade launcher! Grenade launcher!
Day one.
What is you doing, baby?
Get up, honey.
You're the last one alive. It's up to you.
Hey YouTube, Be Righteous here from Identity. Today I'm going to show you an explosive build that utilizes a talent and a skill which are both rarely used. Also, for those of you who enjoy PvE, this is extremely strong for that as well. Here on my channel I cover builds from DPS all the way to skill. These encompass both PvP and PvE. So if you're interested in that, then please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Burst Trauma, a build that carries with it an inevitable fate, one that many rarely escape. With the ability to offset teams all at once, this build is a valuable asset on a squad, because unlike the Seeker Mine, the skill that's utilized here cannot simply be dodged. It detonates when players come into close proximity with one another. So just use your imagination and think about the implications of that. This alone makes it great against teams that loves to stick together. The purpose of this build is to cause a significant amount of burst damage all at once, the kind of damage they will not expect. This will then give your team the opportunity to dismantle the opponent with ease. This role is great for players who want to stay at a distance from the fight while still remaining very dangerous. The build also has amazing synergy, and I want to show you why right now. Okay, for this build we're going to be using the Demolition and Specialization, of course, for the explosive damage. Now this is kind of like a combination of something new and one of the builds that I made in TU5. A lot of people are asking me to do a revamped version of this because it's not viable for TU6. Because in TU5 you just stack all explosive damage or whatever else you wanted to stack to make it stronger, but this is a totally different ball game, so you can't stack. And that's why it's way more important now that you find explosive damage wherever you can, because it's that much more important. The extra explosive damage that you get from the demolitionist is essential. The weapons I'm using: the Merciless, the Rail Splitter, and whatever pistol you want. You just want to use Rooted for the holster talent to get that extra 25% damage. Now the Merciless is a really good weapon for explosive builds because whatever explosive damage that you have on your build stacks with the Merciless. And the reason why I'm using the Rail Splitter is because it's the fastest firing AR in the game. And the Merciless holster talent is that when you're firing your primary weapon, you do explosive damage. A lot of people know that, of course, but with an explosive build, it's way better because that also applies to whatever explosive damage is on your build. So the Rail Splitter is amazing for this build. Mask, Alp Summit with Trauma, hence the name Burst Trauma. 504 skill power. Now, the reason I'm using Trauma is so that I can activate my BTSU data gloves every 30 seconds, no matter what. If you hit somebody in the head, then you're going to blind them for 5 seconds, and this requires a marksman rifle or a rifle. So I'm using a Merciless, and it's perfect for this. Using this doesn't bind you to any skill, making it so that you have to use one that requires a status effect. Well, I am using the Bleed Seeker Mine, but you can alternate these between the Bleed and the regular Seeker Mine. I just use the Bleed Seeker Mine because the initial explosion is strongest. So when you're using two skills that don't have a status effect, Trauma is perfect because you can activate the gloves without even using the skill. Chest piece, I'm using the China Light for the 10% explosive damage, plus I have payload on it. Now this is the talent I was talking about that is rarely used. I rarely see this used, and partly because it requires 4 or less, so a lot of people want to be tanky, and you need way more than 4 in order to be tanky. But this is a skill build slash hybrid, and with this build you're going to be at a distance in the fight anyway, so it doesn't require you to be as tanky as others. I got 1000 skill power on here with 8% weapon damage, 8% crit damage. Really good chest piece. It comes with an offensive and defensive mod slot. Now the reason I said this synergizes really well, it's amazing synergy, is because each piece I have on here is allocated to the weapons and the explosive damage. So the Femoris Holster is for the AR damage for the Rail Splitter, and it has 390 skill power, 48% skill haste. I think that's the highest I've seen it. And you don't have to have skill haste, but it's really good to have it for the Seeker Mines and the cooldowns of the Firefly. I have Precise on here because I'm running a rifle. Sometimes I'm going to be hitting them in the head, so you could alternate it with Devastating if you like, but this just seems fitting since I'm using a rifle. Another Alp Summit backpack. It has 600 skill power, 25,000 armor, and tech support with hardened. If you can find the named backpack that has perfect tech support, it gives you what, 30% skill damage for 10 seconds after skill kills and explosives, then that'll be ideal. But this one is what I needed for the build. So I mean 5%, I'm not really hurting that much. So yeah, tech support is what you need on here. You want to maximize the explosive damage as much as you can. You already know, man, the BTSU gloves is what you need. You do extra 90% damage because I have 9 yellows. So you do an extra 90% explosive damage with your Seeker Mines, with your Firefly. And when you throw the Seeker Mine on the ground, you have that energy infusion explosion based on whatever status effect you have. So usually when I blind people, I throw down my Seeker Mine and it's going to do like a blind explosion, which causes damage to the vicinity. After that, there's an explosion. So there are 2 explosions with this. The BTSU gloves are what you want, man. These gloves are kind of like a jack of all trades for skills, man. Really good gloves. I love these. Finally, for the build, I have the Overlord armament knee pads with explosive damage. Destructive, 40% extra explosive damage, and I got some total armor to be a little bit more tanky. This is for the Merciless's damage, because Overlord gives you a 10% rifle damage. For the skills, okay. The Bleed Seeker is more so for PvP, because in PvE when you use those other Seeker Mines, they don't do as much damage as this. Now for this build, I'm doing 250,000 PvP damage with this Seeker Mine. A little over 1 million damage in PvE. That's like cut in half with these regular Seekers, so that's why I use these. So the crazy thing about this, okay, if you throw this out along with your Firefly, right? You throw the Seeker Mine, that's 250k damage, okay? And then you use your Firefly, the Burster, which is another 250k. That's an accumulative 500% damage. So somebody that has 500,000 armor, it destroys that armor completely. And you're going to be at a distance. Plus, if you have another person in your group running this, that's double the damage. And we tried it out, and it is really fun, man. Honestly though, I was a little disappointed. Me and a couple of my clanmates were a little disappointed because we tried this out on those 500 to 600k shotgun builds on a group of them. We're like, yo, this is gonna work, man. They're gonna be grouped up, like, you know how they're always running around with each other. It's gonna be perfect. We attach it on them and it just boom. But I don't know, man, for some reason it just doesn't work. It's like that build, that 600k 500k shotgun build is AIDS for this community, man. You know, and I want to tell you a little bit about it later, about some things that I found out about those builds and, you know, people that run that, but that's a conversation for another time. Anyways, any other build this works on like a charm. Berserk Clutch, man, it's if you use this on Berserk Clutch, man, they can't do anything to you. It's crazy. You just have to be at a distance because they could beam you if you stand still. You got to be mobile and you got to be nimble with this. Let me show you the mods that I have on here in order to get that. I have 2 damage mods and 1 skill haste mod. Okay, now I can make the cooldown even shorter, but it'll only bring it down like 10 seconds. I'd rather damage over that, so you could choose what you want to do. And for the Firefly, it's pretty much the same. I have 2 damage mods and 1 skill haste mod. It gives me a 16-second cooldown. Now the crazy thing is that when this Firefly, it's not like you can just dodge it, okay? It attaches to your body and it has this very annoying beeping sound that it does right in your ear. And sometimes when I'm running from somebody or it's just one target, I just throw it at them just so they can be annoyed with that beeping. Because this thing doesn't detonate on one target. You have to have at least 2 targets in order for it to detonate, and once they're in close proximity to one another, then it detonates. Also, if you kill one of those targets that this is attached to, the other one is going to detonate. One way that this can work with one target is if they have a defender drone out, or if they have a turret or a drone or whatever, the Firefly attaches to their skills and it acts as the second target. So this thing, I mean, I haven't really seen this used in PvP at all. I've seen it used in PvP a little bit, but in PvP this thing is really, really good. And if you can get used to it, then you could become a wizard with this. This build is super fun. You can get a little bit more tanky if you like, but the way it's set up, the way that I have it set up with these pieces, this is what I came up with, 300k armor, and that's plenty for the type of build that it is. If you want to be that guy in a group that sits back and, you know, uses skills and also is effective, this is the one for you. So check this out, try this build out, and let me know what you think down in the comments. It's a really great build, and I've always been a fan of explosive builds, so check it out and let me know. If you enjoyed this build and if it helped you out in any way, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Be right out.